What's up, YouTube? I know it's been quite a long time since I posted a video. I've been kind of tired because I work graveyard shifts now, so I'm usually like sleeping or stuff. So not really up, but I actually was working on a couple videos, and then today I get uh sent this by like three of my friends. When I wake up, I see this. They sent me that yeah, 2XKO is going to stop with updates. So, Riot Games tweeted with a heavy heart. 2XKO team shares an update about the future. Active development will end in December. Final patch goes live in October. Servers will stay online, so we can at least still play the game. And then any purchase made before today, October 20th, 2026, that's the day, will be refunded. So at least we get our money back. So then there's a link to the post I tweeted. So we opened the post. I already opened a separate tab, right? Um, yeah, so active development will end December 2026. Hey all, we have an update to share the future of 2XKO. 2XKO's active development will conclude at the end of 2026. Over the last few months, we've been monitoring 2XKO's trajectory closely, and what we've seen is painting a clear, consistent picture. While a lot of you jumped in to try the game, there's an incredible community that plays every day. We haven't seen enough players stick around with the game to get the path towards sustainability. This in itself should have already been expected. Fighting games are kind of a niche genre of gaming. Fighting games are incredible, but unfortunately, the majority of gamers are casual, so they don't want to put in the work to become good at fighting games. And when they play a fighting game that they play a fighting game and then they get placed up against a player that actually does play fighting games, they get beat up and they get discouraged, right? That happens in like any gaming community, but especially in the fighting game community. So they stop playing. So there'll always be people who will try the game, but very few will stick with it because very few people have that like dedicated mindset. And like a lot of casual players will say, "Oh, hey, the game's too hard. Fighting games are too hard." The truth is, every single game is hard. It's just how much work do you want to put in? Like, do you think people who are good at FPS games were just born good? Like, I'm sure some of them are. There are always like prodigies like that, but the majority of people, they had to put in the work to get good at that game. The same thing applies to fighting games. Like, you don't just get good one day, like you're born into it, with the exception of prodigies, like I said. The majority of the time, you have to put in the work. And it's just people don't want to put in the work. Another thing is, like humans are very selfish creatures. And in fighting games, you often, if you lose, the blame is on you. I know we all in the FGC, we like to be like, oh yeah, the character's stupid, the character's broken, man, it was the lag, and those do play a factor. But the majority of the losses, whether you want to admit it or not, come from your own lack of skill, your own ability to adapt, and your own lack of knowledge of the game. Like the other day, I was playing first to 10 with Win Zero, a very good challenger level player. He whooped my ass, and there were things I was complaining about during the match. But at the end of the day, he's a better player than me because he put in the work. He put in more work to get good, and he knew more stuff about the game, and he put in more practice. He's better than me at the end of the day. That's just what it is. He beat me because he was better. So I'm starting to ramble, but basically, like, fighting games are niche because of that mindset where, like, FPS games, at least you can kind of like blame your teammate. Even if it's not actually your teammate's fault, you at least have that little cushion to fall back on. Fighting games, you don't. So many people are going to try a game, they're going to get discouraged when they lose, and then they don't want to take responsibility for not getting good. All right, so where'd my mouse go? Okay, so but let's move on. Yeah, servers will remain beyond 2026 and 2XK will be playable on all platforms. So at least we can still play the game. That's good. For the rest of 2026, we'll be introducing content, feature improvements, new champions, Lux and Samira. I've been waiting for Samira. I hope Samira's still fun. I doubt this is going to get more people to play. Lux herself might actually So Lux herself is probably the biggest hope this game has. Lux is one of the most popular league champions, and so they're probably going to like give her skins and stuff. And in the best case scenario, Lux will perform a Final Fantasy moment for 2XKO. So for those who don't know, in Final Fantasy, or the whole story of Final Fantasy was Square Enix, the company that makes Final Fantasy, was about to go bankrupt. They had enough budget for one more game, so they said, "Hey, let's do it. Let's put our all into this one game." So it was going to be their final project, and they wanted it to be a fantasy type genre, which is why the game is called Final Fantasy. Well, the game goes on sale, and the game does so well that it actually pulls Square Enix out of bankruptcy. And they were able to continue as a company, and then that's why we have such a legendary franchise. And now, the Final Fantasy series saved Square Enix financially, and so it was a true Final Fantasy moment. Lux, as popular as she is and like the skins that she has, she could possibly be that moment for 2XKO. I doubt it, given that it's a fighting game, and as I was saying earlier, a lot of players don't really want to commit to fighting games. But, you know, there's a small sliver of hope with Lux. Samira is just cool. I've been waiting for Samira. She's female Dante. It is what it is. Yeah. So with the intent to deliver our final bug patch fix December of this year. So this is their intent, but, you know, intentions can change. So like I said, Lux could be that moment. It's highly doubtful, but, you know, a little bit of hope. It could happen. Yeah, so after the servers will remain on the support online daily, offline plays unaffected. We'll give advance notice if any of that changes. See? So, you know, they haven't fully... This is their intention, but they even say, like, something could change. So, there you go. Granted, they're probably referring to, like, oh, we're going to cut support or all that. But, you know, if any changes happen, they'll give notice. So, yeah, this is a huge cope part on my side. Because I actually really like this game, but that's what it is. So this one, we're unlocking all champs. We're also bundling most cosmetic items and refunding all money spent on 2XKO before. But any content owned is yours to keep. Avatar and profile items will be unlockable for credits. This will happen in September. Sure. More info on this below. So, bundling most cosmetics and refunding all money spent. So the refund is nice. The bundling thing, this is 100% like why 2XKO did not do as well financially as they had hoped. So one thing that like Valorant does, I'm not sure if League of Legends does it, but I would hope that they would, is they offer bundles and you can get like a discount for the bundle, but they also sell each individual item of the bundle separately. So if you don't want the whole bundle, but you just want one thing, you can get that one thing, right? 2XKO does not do that. I mean, they do kind of, but there are a lot of things that are like bundled, so you cannot get them without getting the bundle. Like the Run It Back collection, which was like to support the FGC. It was a Ari and Echo skin. I would have loved to get it, but it's $50 for 2 character skins, and I don't play one of the 2 characters, so I didn't want that. I mean, I wanted it, but I didn't want the other one. And then there was the whole Arcane bundle. Arcane is a huge series for League and Riot Games. It has an incredible fan base. Many players tried this game because of Arcane, and you know, Jinx, Echo, Vi, like the 3 main characters of the series. You could only get the bundle by dropping $100. You couldn't get any of the skins individually, and this is something that I've put on every survey I filled out for the game, as to like, you know, why is that? Like their monetization for this game was horrible, and that's why it ultimately failed on that end. Like that's why they had to get rid of half the team, and now this, like, for a company that like really values money, they sure did a lot to make sure they didn't get as much of it as they could. Like, I'm not like a marketing genius, but even I know that catering to the small spender is just as important as catering to the big spender. Because yes, the big spenders is where you're gonna get like the majority of your money, but the small spenders, they add up, and there's a lot more of them than there are big spenders. So if you get like 100 people to buy $5 versus one person to buy $100, yeah, that $100 is going to be a big check like right in the moment. But over time, those 100 people spending $5 will add up to more money. So, you know, you got to do that. So, bundle locking things sucks. Like there are plenty of things that I would have loved to buy had they not been bundle locked. Like the obsidian chroma from every bundle. I want those for my character, but they're bundle locked. I don't want them for every other character because I'm not going to play every other character. So, there's that. And that was really, really irritating. So, that's honestly the biggest thing. That's their biggest L that they had to take financially. And it's all their fault, realistically. So, at the very least, though, they are giving everyone their money back. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they will. So, cool. What was Riot's goal with 2x KO? I saw them. As well as rioters support everything delivery. Our goal is to right by the players who invested in, continue playing to skill. Rioters who have everything to deliver. The rest of the post will come in detail on how got here, what's changing, and what's still to come. Cool. What's Riot's goal to XKO? Our dream was to build a game that a fighting community would love to play with their friends. We wanted to be respectful of the incredible games that came before ours and bring Riot's take on live service to a new set of hungry players. Our approach was to tackle some of the issues that we knew the FGC struggled with by building more reliable netcode. They have an amazing netcode, making the rank grind less lonely. Their rank system is garbage. They really need to fix this. They still do. Committing to more frequent game updates and more, while the genre significantly in the last 10 years or so. We believe 2x delivered on so many promises. Definitely the netcode thing was huge. They did do pretty frequent updates, and they communicated with the players, which was very good. Like I said, the ranked grind, like, yeah, you could rank with duos, and that made it, a little more fun for a lot of people. But, the rank system itself was still bad. Like me, personally, when I play ranked, right? So my peak rank was Grandmaster. My current rank is Emerald, but that's because I haven't really been playing the game. Part of why I don't play ranked is just because my hidden MMR, because of my peak rank, is so high that it's difficult for the game to match me with someone my rank or my skill level while in my rank. So it takes me between 5 to 20 minutes just to get one match. And I'm not that patient when it comes to sitting around playing a game. Like, if I'm sitting around doing nothing for 20 minutes, I better be doing something else on the side. So I don't have like a dedicated attention span for that kind of thing. So they definitely need to fix that, if anything. But like, honestly, what they should do is kind of like follow the rank system that other games have, where you just match up with someone in your rank. If you stomp them because you're better, and then you just rank up faster. That's really what they should do instead of this thing. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to deal with Smurfs, and like their whole system was designed to kind of combat Smurfs, but you'll never truly be able to combat Smurfs 100%. That's just not a thing. It's impossible. It is what it is. People are gonna be like that no matter what game it is, as long as there's a competitive side. So they should have just made it so you play someone your rank. If you stomp them, you stomp them. You move on. If you don't, you don't. But it is what it is. All right. On the business side, we hope making the game free, right, the genre more accessible and discoverable to new players. It did, and that they fall in love with fighting games the same way we did. Ideally, this would have happened over time, started by earning the trust and lots of core fighting game players, and growing into a larger player base when more features and more content came online. This is where they went wrong. There are a lot of things that should have been implemented into the game immediately. More casual modes for the casual players, maybe like a story mode or something. Like the climb was a good feature that they added, but they took too long to do it, and most of the casual players quit. Um, but yeah, like there are certain the game came out in an incomplete state, and there were a lot of things that they should have added. Definitely story mode. The combo tutorial system is still kind of bad. Like there are times where you need to add dashes, and they just don't tell you to add dashes. Um, and maybe like more silly game modes. Like my friend TJ says the team fight fuse should have been its own game mode, and that's something that I kind of agree with. Like more silly game modes would be fun. Maybe separate a solo and duo ranked from each other so that you have two different rank systems, and you can play with your friends, but then at the same time you can grind by yourself and like see how far you can get on your own. So there's that. But it's all in the past. Honestly, I personally think the game should have stayed 1v1. It would have probably made it a lot easier to implement more champions, because that was another thing that really messed up the cycle for the game, was very few champions at the start. Like Katarina, we all know she was supposed to be in the game, and then they cut her. We all wanted her. Riven, the literal fighting game character. Well, she's not literally fighting, but the champion of League of Legends, who plays pretty much like a fighting game character, is not in the fighting game. Like I respect that they're trying to do like unique champions and stuff, but there are some things that are staple that you kind of should have just put in already. But, I digress. It's there. It's all in the past. It's their own thing. Yeah. So we also went into this project knowing that from the start, free to play comes with minimum player requirement to support these ambition with a minute. Yeah. Early on, we saw pockets of the FGC fully embrace the scale, and we got proof that this approach is working. At a small scale, players pushed the game to the limits of high level, brought their non-fighting game runs to play with them. Duos became a great way to mash buttons together. Tournament organizers added the game to their weekly lineups. Players told us they just wanted more champs, events. Yeah, exactly. We want more of this stuff, and they didn't implement it. They took too long to do it. Well, this is exactly what we wanted to see. It just wasn't happening enough. Even within the genre, diehard tag fighter players love to scale, but most other fighting game players struggle to find reasons to. Yeah, because most players play 1v1 games, and while I do like tag fighters, 2XKO should have just been a 1v1 game. Like, yeah, I get it. They're trying to make like the team-based thing like League, but in League, everyone pilots one champion. They should have done that. Like, don't get me wrong. I like tag fighters, and I think 2XKO is fun, but I have gripes with the game. Everyone has gripes with the game they play, and one of the things is the fact that it's tag fighter. Like, that prevents a lot of people from playing. Most FGC players don't really play tag fighters. Street Fighter and Tekken are huge in their 1v1 games. Most people don't want to learn more than one character. So, there's that. And like I said, if it was a 1v1 game, then they would be able to implement champions more quickly, because they wouldn't have to also take into account assists, interactions, and all that. And when it comes to balancing, they just have to take into account how each character interacts with each other. So, there's that. Plus, assists made a lot of characters stronger than they should have been. Like Yasuo and Echo, very strong in the beginning, but if it had just been like a 1v1 game and they were as strong as they were, yes, they would still be very strong, but a lot of it was like assists made them safer than they should have been, and it allowed them to continue their nonsense. Same thing with like Ari at her peak. And like one of the reasons that Thresh is so good is because he has assists, and he is also a very strong assist character. So, certain characters just are better because they have assists. And if they were at their strength without an assist, they'd still be strong, but not nearly as strong. And that might have made the game a little more balanced, in my opinion, personally. But, it is what it is. Anyways, I keep rambling about subjects about like what they could have done to fix it and why this didn't have to happen. But it is what it is. Alright. We evaluated the game's overall performance, not just revenue. This is a lie. This is a lie, because revenue is reflected by performance. Like, if a lot of players are playing, then you're going to be making a lot of money. If not a lot of players are playing, you're not going to be making a lot of money. but retention, new players, and engagement through 2xKO. We saw positive players reaction through release of Akali, Senna, Thresh, The Climb, PvE, and some amazing competitive events throughout this year. Even in these highlight moments, however, we saw no meaningful sustained change to 2xKO's trajectory, only a fraction of what it would take to trend towards sustainability. Over time, it became clear that it would be impossible for us to continue actively developing the game as we are today. In recent months, the team has continued to take bold swings while fully aware of 2xKO challenges, but to attempt another year hoping for a way forward would have been an irresponsible choice for players and the dev team. To be super clear, we would have continued active development if we saw any viable future, but 2xKO's cost us sustainability more to operate than it brings in, and engagement has stayed relatively flat despite our larger updates. Again, talking about how their monetization system was poor. The decision to make it a tag fighter was not the best. And honestly, like, the name of the game itself is still a huge, like, bad point. Like, the name of the game sucks. 2xK was such a stupid name. It's too literal, and it just sounds dumb. I personally think it I made a tweet a long time ago. I predicted that the name of the game was going to be Rising Legends. And the reason why I said Rising Legends was because the game's IP is League of Legends. And the game, Riot purchased it when it was still being developed as a game known as Rising Thunder. So combining the names Rising Legends with Rising Thunder with League of Legends, I got Rising Legends. And then to furthermore back up my theory, there was a Twitch channel called Rising Legends. And before that channel even had a single viewer or anything, or even a single stream, it was already partnered. And the types of channels that get instant partnership are channels that are for big games and big companies. So, that was something that could have happened. It is what it is. Bad name, bad monetization, kind of poor decision with not releasing enough champions, enough casual modes. The game should have still been a 1v1 in my opinion, but we looked at all the options available. Reducing team size, just the fast gradual change business model. We concluded that finishing the rest of our work in progress content and sunsetting active development was the best route forward for players and rioters. What's next? As we mentioned, we want to do right by the players and we want to continue to excel. We deeply respect the love put into the game and seem to know. 2xKO remains online and playable, and we aren't going anywhere yet. We still got more content to show you through the end of this year, and we're truly grateful to everyone who has been a part of 2xKO's journey so far. Here's a quick look at the rest of the patches. Okay, 2026. First, 2026 will continue finishing up working the progress content area, fixing bugs, making balance changes to 2xKO into a state where we'll all be happy, and final bug fix past December. So they're disabling the ability to purchase KO points. KO points are how you purchase things in the game, like skins and stuff. Prepaid physical cards are no longer used. Remaining KO points can be spent on the rotating store before patch 1.3.1. That's the next patch. We'll begin processing refund for all players prior. For PC players, all KO points will be refunded to the payment method used to purchase them. We plan to have most refunds distributed in the next 2 weeks and hope to be finished with all PC refunds by November 2026. We appreciate your patience as we process these. So we're supposedly getting our money back, which is nice. So if you bought the big bundle, you got the big bundle, which is cool, I guess. PlayStation, Xbox, PlayStation, then will be refunded through platform provider used to purchase system. Customer support for players on the Korea or Japan server. Okay. Read more information. September 8th. Okay, so September 8th, the next patch, 1 point. Lux, Lady Luminosity, drops this patch. Lux is a Shoto-inspired character with a simple kit who harnesses the power of light to illuminate her. So she's going to be like Ryu. We're adding a purchasable bundle of nearly all 2xKO cosmetic contents, $40. This all bundle launch. Skins, chromas, taunts for every champion, up to and including Lux. For those who want to pick up everything into 2xKO, these bundle packages most common into a single purchase. We're making many items available for credits of Avatar, Select base champion chroma, stages. We're removing some systems so we can support long term. Battle pass, KO points, champion token seasons will be removed. We're removing ranked and adjusting matchmaking to be streamlined within casual lobbies. Ranked lobbies will be disabled to ensure that we can matchmake within a single pool for players per server. Casual lobbies will matchmake by skills, so you should expect to see players around your skill level. Private lobbies will be unaffected. So no more. So is this the last rank season then? Oh man. Maybe I should push the Grandmaster one last time. Oh my god. We're unlocking most gameplay content. So all champions will be unlocked for all players. Futures will still be unlockable through tutorials. We've added voice chat to large private lobbies, which will allow up to 40 players in one private. That is crazy. October, Samir is coming. Okay, cool. Include all of her remaining skins. Owners of the bundle will receive the added items automatically. This will be the final major content patch for. Okay. If required, this patch will mostly focus on bug fixes and won't introduce major events. From here to SQL's servers remain online. This commitment ensures through 2026 and will continue to support players and TOs. This includes prizing and major challenger events. The final competitive series event will take place in November 2026. Okay, so another thing that probably hurt them financially was like their funding of the FGC events. Like, it, don't get me wrong, it was a wonderful thing that they did, and it's cool that they did it, but that cut into like their funding for the game and stuff. So I think they should have, instead of deciding to do this automatically, like they should have set up maybe like their own world tour system if they wanted to do this, as well as like, you know, kind of hold back on like helping the TOs as much until they were like financially secure like they wanted to be. But it is what it is. There's no perfect way to handle a decision like this. As 2026 continues, we'll be figuring out what we can do for the players, TOs, competitors, and creators. Showing up, yeah, if you see the tours, we'll have conversations with community leaders over the next few weeks and we'll post it. Ultimately, we're proud of the game built. We're grateful to everyone who made this game what it is today, and we're looking forward to the rest of these year's releases. What's written above reflects our current plan, and we may make some adjustments to dates as communications as we go. Looking to the future, you can count on Riot to keep exploring new genres and ways to bring players together. For now, we're focused on leaving Jexco in a great spot, and then we'll head back to the R&D lab, where we will take time to learn and work on how we can come back stronger for the next swing at the next genre. Yeah, so basically, what this comes down to is they didn't make enough money, so they're abandoning the project. They're going to leave it up for the people who play, but at the end of the day, you know, Riot's a company. They want to make money. The game didn't make enough money, so they're abandoning it. But yeah. All right. Well, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. I will be leaving a link to this in the description of the video, and I hope to catch you guys later. As far as because of 2XKO going in this direction, my channel, if anything, I will be focusing on other games. So I've been playing some Avatar. I'm still not like that good at it yet. And then of course, Tifa being one of my absolute favorite fighting game character, well, video game characters, is coming to Street Fighter. And while I'm not personally a fan of Street Fighter 6 because I don't like the drive system, I will be trying to learn that game, so you can look forward to me putting some of that on the channel as like we try to find something to do since this is happening to XKO. I really do hope things can turn around for this game. I'm not expecting it to happen anytime soon, but it would be cool. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys all on the next video. I'm sorry I haven't been posting as consistently, you know, life and all that. But yeah, anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.